there was no female vocal metal anywhere to be found, and it was very frustrating for me as a fan to try to find it. So I started buying as much as I could, everywhere I could, and it turned into, well, I think we could do this better. So, because there wasn't one place we could go and get all the music we liked, so we thought, well, it's time to make that place. So.
Yeah, and I was working with another company, another independent label, and I wasn't very happy, and John came to me and said, you know, I got this idea, because we were listening to The Gathering and Nightwish and a couple other bands, Artrosis, Lacuna Coil, and we were going crazy trying to find it, and he came to me and he said, look, I know you're not very happy where you were, I got this idea to do all female vocals, and at first I thought he was crazy. I thought, man, you know, you go out and you invest all this money in this one niche, and what if the niche doesn't work? So the first thing I said to John was, well, we'll do the female vocal thing, we'll buy tons of female vocal stuff, but we gotta buy a little bit of the male vocal stuff too, just as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it started, there wasn't any thought about us being some type of leader or industry thing. We were just doing it because there was a void there. You know, there was nothing there, and you have to love what you're doing in the music business or you won't be successful, because it requires so much time and dedication and so many long hours. And people say to me all the time, you know, oh, it must be nice to get to see all the bands and have an occasional free CD show up or something, and it's like, well, wait a minute here, you know, I'm putting in 14-hour days, you know, there are no holidays, you know, so there's always drawbacks to a good thing, but it's important to know if you can supply something, there's a demand for it. And we realized early on that there was a demand for what we were doing, so. Well, yeah, we get a lot of independent bands that we work independently with. We work something out, and that's time consuming, but then we also have ties from prior jobs that helped us kickstart the wholesale process, just being able to buy it instead of just like the average customer buy in bulk, and we were able to make sure that we could keep the stuff in stock, offer good service, because that's always a plus, and ship worldwide, which was another thing that we had a little bit of a niche, and 50 to 60% of our business goes overseas, so it was important to keep us out of the red that we went with the world market, selling to 60 countries currently, I think now.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with anything you do is to pick your niche and stick with it, because really if you look at the people and the bands, the labels that are successful, they all have a certain niche. There's a death metal label, there's a goth metal label, there's a dance type of electro goth labels out there, and they all stick to that one business plan, and basically that's what we've been able to do with Sonic Cathedral, you know, mostly thanks to John and his idea, and of course Becky, who backs us up with everything we do.
Right, there's a few people that in every element that help, because a lot of times what helps with us is to make sure a lot of the music that's released in Europe we can't write about here because it's not here yet, so we have to rely a lot of times on other writers and other elements in Europe and Japan, but most of the people are volunteer staff, which, you know, it's hard to find good help, but if you're passionate about what you do, then it's a little easier to find writers and interviewers and stuff like that.
The meat and potatoes is the three of us, though.
Okay.
She designed the website, hosts everything, does all the accounting, the bookkeeping, so she pretty much keeps us on our feet.
Yeah, I get all the fun stuff.
Because it's primarily an online distributor.
It is.
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much. Yep, that's what we're doing, and like I said, 60 countries now about that, and it's turned into something over the 7 years since we started it. At first, it was we were going to just go to shows every weekend. We'd pile all the CDs into boxes and spend our whole weekend, you know, selling a few CDs, and it got to the point where we did enough online business and the market changed so much that, you know, less and less people were going out physically to buy their music. They were doing it online.
Well, in all fairness, it was tough to haul all those CDs to the shows every weekend.
It was hard for us to get out of bed at 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
12 hours a day.
To go meet some metalheads, you know.
Usually these waves come from United States and go to other parts of the world, and it seems like this one is coming backwards. It's actually absolutely reversed on us this way.
Yeah.
So, and all the stuff that we're carrying, a lot of it is European, at least 50% of it, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's gaining popularity here very fast.
Yeah, which is great, to see Epica, Visions of Atlantis, After Forever. These are the bands that when we started Sonic Cathedral 7 years ago, we wanted these bands touring the States. And now we can see that the labels out there like Napalm and Nuclear Blast, they have a business model for these bands. They're going to take them, they're going to put them on the road, they're going to do a couple of little club tours as not headliners but as support acts for bigger bands, build a following, and the next thing you know that those bands evolve into headliners. So what we see, or I see, I think that you two probably agree with me, is that with this next wave that's coming in, we're going to start seeing now After Forever headlining in a year or two, and with less emphasis on the Evanescence or the Flyleaf and more emphasis on these bands that are now coming over here from the European market. It's almost like a second British metal invasion is what we have going on here.
But it's coming from all over the world.
EU invasion, right?